Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. A Journey to the Cardinal World by Xuckyxheese. Chapter 9, Lands of the Old World. Staring through the place one she had cherished, buildings falling, crumbling to dust. The garden she had loved slowly getting consumed and burst onto flames. Friends and comrades that she knew, that went through thick and thin with her, now lays on ground with the other dead bodies. With the scent of the blood filled her nasal cavity, she tried to puke in disgust. Seeing the walls painted in red, and sides and body parts mutilated into unrecognizable state. She screams for help knowing that no one can hear her cry, but what heard her pleas for help was a low growl in the end of the hallway. Demons with the eyes of crimson red, their body reeks the smell of oil and rust. Dozens of them appeared and follows more of them stomping without care to the bodies beneath them. She screams for help yet again, with her body that can no longer stand up, she crawls until her back touches the wall. She closes her eyes and hopes and prays just for someone or anyone to save her from this hell she's facing. Please. Help. Me. Crash crash. What followed was the sound of the windows getting destroyed. The growls she hears can no longer be heard. She slowly opened both of her eyes and saw multiple individuals with their backs facing her. The others were blurry in her vision except for the individual in front of her. The person turned around and looked at her. Time to get you out of here, #_%, Lady Narina. I'll apologize, but I'll do what you told me to. Splash. Feeling the cold liquid on her body, Narina quickly rose up from her slumber. She quickly went out of the bed and went to the window on her side, brushing away the thick curtains. The garden, it's safe. Thank heavens it's all right, Lady Narina? Narina turned at her back and saw her maid looking at her worryingly. Is everything alright? The maid was startled to say at least, looking down to see her master holding her for dear life, crying in her chest. Knowing her past experiences with her master, she embraced Narina and rubbed her head, easing her down. Is it the same nightmare again? She asked. Narina nodded between cries. Don't worry now, my lady, everything will be all right as long as I am here with you. Really, Elle? Narina asked, looking at her. The maid named Elle chuckled at her question. Despite having a huge age gap between herself and her master, she still acts like a kid often. Yes, it's me after all, Elle replied. Feeling satisfied with her answer, Narina continued to embrace Elle. Narina thought back on the nightmare that was on constant repeat during her sleep. Those demons that killed her family, and the unknown saviors who helped her. She needs to know who they were, she needs to. With a new goal in mind, both of them prepared for the day to begin. Location: West Egypt, Libyan desert, city, sands. Too many as the eye can see. Dunes, there's that too. Sands are annoying. Whose idea is to drop us in the middle of nowhere? The commandant of the Grey Raven screamed internally. Surrounded by sands as far as the group can see, the Grey Raven squad has safely arrived in their designated location. Xandril adjusted his mask, putting it on the side of his head, grabbing the serum capsule that Liv handed out to him. There was two ways to use the serum. One is by injecting the serum right into his body only if the commandant is rendered immobilized and fatally injured. And the other is by drinking it, that most fellow commandants that shares the same response as him hated it, due to its awful aftertaste. Xandril, who hates getting poked by daily basis, picks the bittersweet ending instead. He opened the cap of the transparent container, staring at the golden liquid. Xandril mentally braced himself. He opened his mouth and drank the serum in one whole swig. Xandril closed his eyes, preparing for his brain to process the taste, but as the whole container was about to get emptied, the awful taste wasn't seared into his tongue. Rather, it was sweet, very sweet. Liv, this is. He opened his eyes in delight. The serum tasted good and its sweet aftertaste still lingered in his throat, as if he was drinking a nectar from the gods. Commandant, it's a new serum created from the R&D department, although the batches are still limited. Rimuru has given us the first priority when it was handed out, Liv replied. Then they should have created this sooner, he exclaimed. Years of pain and torment his sense of taste to go through, especially his fellow comrades Akio and Neil. It can finally have its proper rest. After all this operation is over, Xandril promised himself, that he'll bribe Rimuru for more of the new serums to share with his comrades. He can't be the only one savoring this fine serum after all. The rest of the group was shocked by their commandant's sudden burst of expression, but it gave them quite a positive mood because of him. The new ingredient this serum was integrated with is the purple water we found in the underground train station back then, Liv happily answered him. I see. Wait, what? It took him a second to process while Liv talked to him. Xandril recalled back on how they got that purple water, upon realizing on what he just swallowed whole. He immediately forced himself to vomit. The rest of the group tried stopping him on what he was doing. See, Commandant, what are you doing? Liv asked with a bewildered expression. It's supposed to protect us, not kill us from within. That water was scooped up from the murky grounds and mixed with the serum. The Commandant exclaimed, glaring at the emptied container he was holding. Screw bribing him, he'll kill us all by then, Xandril thought. It was then Lee hand shopped his head, bringing him back to reality. Calm down now, look on what you did to Liv. She hasn't even finished explaining about the new serum. Lee spoke. Both looked at Liv with a saddened expression on her face. Cough, I apologize, my mind went into babble mode all of a sudden. He sheepishly rubbed the back of his head. Xandril recalled, the mere thought of hearing the word, babble, puts a shiver on his spine, and as if multiple strands of hair of his has been snapped into oblivion. Running multiplayer hours worth of struggle, fighting enemies in overclock difficulty, while having multiple amounts of handicap placed on you. It was such a maulding experience for Xandril. It's alright, Commandant, we should give you a proper mental examination back in Babylonia after this and have you take a break from Babel Tower simulations. Liv replied and quickly regained her composure. Xandril nodded in agreement. He puts back the mask on his face as soon as it made a click noise. Xandril quickly rechecked his HUD to see if everything is fine. MIND filled square containing hollow circle filled square containing hollow circle filled square containing hollow circle inner device status. Online BPL01. Lotus, 100%, green. BPN08. Eclipse, 100%, green. BPN06. Palefire, 100%, green. JTF01. Slime, 90%, green, slime. He thought. Then he remembered that there was no proper codename for Rimuru's frame, so they settled by calling it slime. Too many questionable things about him, let's leave that for later. He looks at his display tab, seeing the communication system lighting up coming from Lucia. Both Rimuru and Lucia were sent out to Akka as an envoy from Babylonia to make some agreeable terms and connection with them. Is the long-range communication system working? Loud and clear, Commandant. Good. Is the bargaining chip working in your end? Yes, and we managed to earn a starting package from the Akka due to Rimuru, if we accept the package. Xandril thought about it for a second. The Akdilic has been running during the beginning of the outbreak, and with their conspicuous dividing system between aristocrat and commoners, there are some risks he is not willing to take. We already chew too much just from having you both hitching a ride with their train, just turn it down for now. I see. Wait, but the Commandant said, it's okay. But Commandant, Rimuru has agreed and took the starting package. Excuse me. Lee and Liv, who were listening with the conversation, look at him, seeing Commandant being stunned for Abbott. A connection system coming from Rimuru lighted up, so he accepted it, letting him join with their talks. Hello. Xandril, we got the package. We're heading your way now. He winced at the sudden loud noise coming from him. Oi. I said no, give it back to them. Don't worry, it'll help us with our current task. Besides, this connection between the Akka and Babylonia will strengthen their bonds in the long run. Anyways, Rimuru over and out. Degree connection lost. Degree, Commandant, will it be okay? Lee asked. Well, let's trust his judgment for this one. I really just do wonder how many steps does he thinks ahead, Xandril replied. Liv, who was behind the Commandant, chimed in. Speaking of Rimuru, do you guys also find it weird? Lee and Xandril turned around and looked at Liv, who was flustered with both of their eyes on her. I mean, in the eyes of many, Rimuru is an attacker-specialized construct, but the way he moves around in Babylonia makes me want to know more about him, she continued. The three of them thought around it for Abbott as Lee puts his arms akimbo. Well, so far he had already made 2 contributions, one being the serum enhancement that we talked about earlier, And to his knowledge during the pre-Golden Age that helped the WGAA a ton, Lee spoke. Do you guys think this is related when he went dark on us on City 018? Commandant asked. How so, Commandant? Lee asked. Intuition perhaps. He shrugged. I can't form it in words very well, but when he arrived back into Babylonia, there's this imaginary line that surrounded him. As if one wrong step can sever our bond with him. But oh well, if Rimuru decided to talk about it, then we'll be there. That's the Grey Raven as its core, right? Xandril grinned beneath his mask. As if seeing the expression of their commandant, their mood has heightened as well. Although Rimuru has only been with them for months. He's their valuable friend and fourth member of the Grey Raven after all. Few minutes later. I guess this is what you meant by helping us, huh? Xandril spoke. The rest staring at both Lucia and Rimuru driving their own set of motorbike. Lucia was driving the usual two-wheeled bike while Rimuru with the three-waylaid one with a seat attached to the side of the bike. Rimuru nodded in agreement. Well, Command only dropped us off to the set location. Besides, the search range is very wide to find on foot, so might as well use the starting package the ACA offered. I see. Well, I got no complaints now, but that was dangerous, you know. There could be some strings attached just by borrowing these vehicles. Xandril replied. Well, the starting package involved with one of their constructs accompanying us through this mission, so I offered them something else just to stop their eyes prying on us. Rimuru spoke. I mean, who wouldn't get suspicious if two constructs coming from space decided to make deals with them? Surely something is off with that, he continued. Xandril raised his hands in defeat. All right, I get it. Liv, review the mission log to refresh our minds and know what we are dealing with. Liv nodded before showing up the floating holographic tab in front of her. Few days later, 247 hours to be exact, a team of 2 has gone missing to this desert. 3 constructs from the WGAA and 4 constructs codename Gona Squad who was supposedly to retrieve the constructs from WGAA. Are there any footage from them before they went missing? Commandant asked. Other than traversing through the Libyan desert after that is just a blackout, like the video has been cut out, Liv replied. So our tasks on the hand is 1. Continue the info hunt that the WGAA was looking for, and 2. Find both squads. Worst case scenario is we retrieve just their memories if the situation got dire, Liv continued. Got it. Grey Raven, let's head out. Understood. Leaving only dust in their trail, the mission had already begun. EO2 Babylonia. Rimuru's personal dorm. Unsynthesized alloys of magisteel and titanium. Tantalum 193 affinity rate. A compound mix of unknown liquid that has been discovered in the ruins together with the base construct fluid. Possible refinements within the Cardinal modules in the auxiliary system. New consciousness chip using the foundation chips such as Shakespeare, Hyson, Bathalon and Zhu Wenyuan. What in the world are you making? Asimov muttered, reciting the notes in his tab. He was in Rimuru's dorm to say at least, wasting his time that could be used in more important matters other than here. Asimov was asked by Rimuru on to check the project he was working on, after helping with the new serum they developed with the R&D department. It didn't even state in the tab on what I am working with. Is it a weapon to begin with? Then I'll just shove that to the other department to look through. If I can find it in the first place. Asimov sighed after fully checking the dorm, seeing no signs of the item he was tasked to look for. The door to the room was slammed wide open. Asimov looked to the doorway, seeing a female individual with gray hair and black clothings. Ah, head chief. Whatcha doing in here? Nanami asked with her hands on the side. Rimuru has asked me to check up on his project, since you always visit here all the time. Do you know where it is? Maintaining his usual composure, he asked, staring at the ball of emotions in front of him. You mean the frame he's working with? How do you know about that? She asked. So it's a frame. Just quit the dilly-dally, I have more things to do other than here, he answered. Well, if Big Chief says so, I'll put the blame to you if you destroy it somehow, Nanami replied. She went to the work table on the side and pressed a button beneath it. A whizzing noise was made as the space distorts in front of them for a few seconds, revealing a cylindrical pod in front of them. Nanami interacted with the floating hologram that appeared, removing the tint of the glass that was obstructing the view of what was inside. Ta-da! That's all yours, Chief. Old Pops has ordered something from the almighty Nanami once more, so see ya. Nanami spoke before leaving the room. Asimov ignored her as he went closer to the pod to inspect the frame that was floating inside. He touched the side of the glass, that made some few highlighted words appeared on it. Codename. Supercell Libyan Desert 2 kilometers away from the missing constructs. Liv, hinder its movements now, the Commandant ordered. Got it. Liv shot out a pseudo-gravitational ball into the Visago, stopping its mechanical appendages from moving. It's trying to go back underground. Rimuru. I know. Brandishing his katana coating the blade with black lightning, he ran to the corrupted that was in front of him. The gravitational ball has lost its effect and the Visago regained its movement. It saw Rimuru that was fast approaching. The Visago immediately fired air blast projectiles on him. Rimuru easily dodged the projectiles with ease as he leapt through the sky. He amplified the lightning on his blade as the Visago opened its mouth to make contact with him. As if I'll let you. He dodged to the side and stabbed the katana to its side, dragging it down to its enormous body. Liv quickly ran in front to the fallen Visago, battering it with laser projectiles with her Levi gun. It's dead. Liv, Rimuru, go and assist Lee and Lucia. Both of them nodded as they went to Lucia and Lee. That's the last of them. The Commandant spoke, ending the last corrupted with the plasma handgun he's using. He holstered it back and went to the others. How's the situation? He asked. Both vehicles are done for. It was already too late the moment we detected the Visago. Lee replied, staring at the motorbikes or what it remains with its parts scattered around the area. How about you, Commandant? I'll be doing a light checkup on you, so please stay still for Abbott. Liv spoke while the Commandant subconsciously nodded. So much for the starting package, huh, he thought. After the checkup, the Commandant looked at his team, seeing if they're all right. He stared down to his side, seeing Rimuru sitting in the hot sand. You good? Xandril asked. Why, yeah, just caught off guard with that one. Rimuru replied. Xandril offered his hand and Rimuru accepted it, helping him stand up. Multiple mechanical signatures detected. They're coming right after us. Liv spoke, seeing his scanner pick up multiple red dots. Grey Raven already with their battle position, with their attackers on the front and sides, while their support on the back. The sand on their boots began to vibrate, knowing they're almost close by. Closing by their field of view, multiple silhouettes that resembles of a bull are coming towards them. Whoa, Betsy. You'll shake up young uns in front of us. The pod of bulls stop in their tracks as they heard the voice. A figure dropped down from the bull who was leading the herd. The individual slowly walked towards the group. The Grey Raven with their guards up can't identify the figure in front of them with its hat and robe covering. Quite a wreckage you got there. The figure spoke with a voice of somewhat of a male pointed behind them. Grey Raven didn't turn around as they know what he's talking about. Identify yourself. Lucia spoke. Hold right there, Missy. I mean no harm. Sounds weird coming from an suspicious old guy like me. But I am staking my heart on this one, he replied. Ah, where are my manners? He removed his hat and showed his face. Name is Orthos, pleasure to meet ya. Orthos is what, like he said, with the looks of someone in the 50s and a well-shaved beard, but what their attention got them was his mechanical eye on his right eye. Any thoughts? Xandril, he must have known on what has happened in here. Can you ask Lucia? Rimuru. Understood. Lucia, what's your purpose in here? She asked. Checking to know the aftermath, of course, and possibly some survivors too, Orthos replied. And if you do? Lucia asked with her grip more stronger in her katana. Treatment, of course. Orthos whistled. A bull on the sides went to the front, showing that it's carrying medical supplies. But knowing you tight-fit looking people, my worry seems to be nothing, he continued. Lucia went silent once more, showing that they are speaking in a different comms, and Orthos understood that. But time is the essence in here. If you young uns want to live another day, we must get going. Orthos spoke, interrupting their hidden talks. What do you mean by that? It was Lee who asked this time. We are standing on the hunting grounds right now, and as we speak them nomads and red devils are coming, he replied. Commandant, your orders. Lucia spoke as the rest looked at him. Let's go with the old man then, Commandant replied. All of them quickly sat in each mechanical bulls, holding the reins in front of them. Hold on tight. Orthos whistled, signaling the herd of bulls to move. Traveling to the desert, leaving the place they were once in, few minutes went by without them noticing it. "Hey old man, where we going?" the commandant yelled, since the bulls are too loud for Orthos to hear. "You'll see soon enough," Orthos yelled back. A tall metal wall is what slowly filled their vision. The rest were speechless, seeing the towering hunk of metal in front of them. But one of them was staring at it with the looks of suspicion. Raphael. Commencing analyze and assess, the group reached the gate and quickly went in with the help of Orthos. They hop off from their rides and followed him. "Let me say it once more, my name is Potassium Boride Orthos and I welcome you to Narenwelt." The end.